Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be talking about present participle as adjectives. In previous two videos, I discussed non-finite verbs. Those are infinitives and gerunds, right? So present participles are also called non-finite verbs. They are not verbs because they have different functions. If you look at non-finite verbs, they look like verbs, but they are not at all verbs. They have different usage, they have different functions in different sentences, right? So we'll discuss present participle in this video. Here I have taken three base verbs: eat, cook, write. These are base verbs. You take any verb, it has V2 form, V3 form, V4 form, right? Eat, ate, eaten, eating, cook, cooked, cooked, cooking, write, wrote, written, writing. So these are all the forms of base verbs, right? Eat, cook, write. These are present tense verbs. They are used in present tense, present simple tense. That's why we call them present tense verbs. Ate, cooked, wrote. These are V2 form, V2 verbs, V2 form of verb, right? And we call them past tense verbs. So they are used in past simple tense. Eaten, cooked, written. These are past participles. So they act as verbs. In addition to that, adjectives. They play two roles. They play verbs role and the second one adjectives role. So we'll make a separate video on past participles. Let's focus on present participle as adjectives. I hope these are clear, right? V1, you take any verb, it has V2 form, V3 form, V4 form, right? V1 forms are like present tense verbs. V2 forms past tense verbs. V3 forms are like past participles. We'll discuss V4 form of verbs. Those are ing form of verbs. We'll get into that. V4 form of verbs: eating, cooking, writing, playing, watching, listening. These are all present participles because they have different functions. They act as verbs, nouns, adjectives. You take any ing form of verb, it plays three roles: verbs role, noun, and adjective. We'll discuss one by one. First of all, before we will get into examples, we have to know the definition. So we all know B forms: am, is, are, was, were, will be. These are B forms. When we use ing form of verbs after B forms, they become verbs. That is the definition of present participle in terms of verbs. And they show the tense of the sentence. Also, they are treated as action verbs. For example, we have continuous tenses, right? Present continuous, past continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous, future perfect continuous. In these continuous tenses, we use present participles as action verbs. They become verbs when they are used after B forms. I hope this definition is clear, right? Remember, in continuous tenses, we use present participles and they are considered as verbs, not nouns, not adjectives. This is the first case, right? We'll see the second case. Second definition: if ing words act as nouns of the sentences, we call them gerunds. So whenever you find an ing form of verb in a sentence, if it acts as a noun, we call it as a gerund because they act as nouns, and gerunds come in different positions. I'm not talking about verbs and adjectives, I'm talking about nouns. So present participles act as nouns. So we already discussed the definition of verbs, right? Present participles act as verbs, nouns. We'll discuss the definition of adjectives. Remember, nouns come in the beginning or in the middle, but they act as nouns. We'll discuss the definition of adjectives, okay? Third definition. When ing words are used before nouns or sometimes after nouns, we call them as adjectives. So we all know the definition of an adjective. An adjective describes nouns or pronouns in the sentence, right? So in the same manner, present participles are used before nouns and after nouns, and we call them as adjectives. So whatever is used before nouns or pronouns, we consider it as an adjective. I hope the definition is clear. If you want to identify adjectives in a sentence, you have to ask a question. What kind of person, what kind of thing, what kind of object it is, what kind of person he is or she is. If you ask this question, you will be able to identify adjectives easily, okay? So far we have covered three definitions. So let's discuss examples. Here I have taken two present participles, walking and drinking. So these are used in three sentences, and three sentences have different meaning. We'll discuss one by one. I am walking on the road. Walking is a good exercise. I have walking shoes. In first sentence, walking is the verb, and it is in present continuous tense. So it is an ongoing action. And so I already told you in the definition, we use be forms before present participles. That's how they become verbs, right? I am walking on the road. So walking is the verb in the sentence. Walking is a good exercise. In this sentence, walking is the noun, not the verb. So in the place of noun, you can replace with other nouns, which is suitable in that sentence, okay? So whenever you get any doubt whether it is a noun or not, so you in the place of present participle, you can replace with other nouns, okay? I have walking shoes. So in third sentence, walking is an adjective because shoes means plural countable, right? Generally we use adjectives before nouns. Here shoes means noun, and walking is used before the noun, which means it is an adjective. Which kind of shoes? Walking shoes. You always have to ask which kind of person he is, which kind of object, which kind of animal, which kind of people, so that you get answers. Second one, she was drinking water. In this sentence, drinking is the verb. Drinking 3 liters of water per day keeps us active. In second sentence, drinking is the noun and it comes in subject position. So in the place of drinking, you can replace with any other noun like yoga. Yoga keeps us active. Simply replace the noun position with any other nouns, general noun, okay? Go and get some drinking water. Which kind of water? Drinking water. Here water is uncountable noun and adjectives are used before nouns. Here drinking is an adjective in the sentence. Which kind of water? Drinking water. I hope you are getting right. So no need to get confused. I'm going to take a lot of examples, at least 10 examples, okay? Third example. So I'm cutting vegetables. Here cutting means cutting is the verb and it is an action that is happening, right? I'm cutting vegetables now or right now. So cutting is the verb in the sentence. I daily practice cutting vegetables. So in second sentence, Cutting is the noun. It plays the noun role and you can replace with any other noun. I daily practice yoga. So in the place of cutting, you can replace with any other noun that is suitable. Okay. We can easily cutting vegetables. Which kind of vegetables? Cutting vegetables. Here vegetables means plural countable, right? And cutting is an adjective. It is used before the noun vegetables. Cutting vegetables. Which kind of vegetables are easy to cut? Cutting vegetables. Simple. So no need to get confused. Okay, just observe the examples. You are washing shoes now. The action is happening now. Here in this sentence, washing is a verb. It acts as the verb. Farmers do washing cows. Here in second sentence, washing is the noun. What do farmers do? Washing cows. And washing is an activity. Cutting is an activity, right? These are all activities. Washing, cutting, playing, these are all names of activities or actions. Look at the third sentence. Washing clothes are easy to wash. Which kind of clothes? Washing clothes. Here, washing is an adjective and it describes the noun clothes, right? Generally, adjectives describe, modify, or give information about nouns. Here, clothes means it's a noun and it is described by the adjective washing. Which kind of clothes? Washing clothes. So, washing is the adjective in the sentence. So far, we have discussed 4 examples. We'll see some more examples. Fifth example, they were writing records. So the sentence is in past continuous tense. What were they doing? They were writing records. So writing is the verb in the sentence. Writing improves our ability to think. Whenever you write, it helps you to think, right? In second sentence, writing is the noun and it is in subject position. Whenever a present participle acts as noun in the sentence, we always use singular verb. In second sentence, writing improves. Improves means singular noun, singular verb, right? Look at the third sentence. I always buy writing books. Which kind of books? Writing books. Books means plural countable and an adjective is used, that is writing. Which kind of books? I always buy writing books. Here writing is an adjective, it describes books and it is giving information about books. A bird is flying in the sky. So the action is happening now. It is in present continuous tense. Flying is the verb in the sentence. Have you ever thought of flying in the sky? In second sentence, flying is the noun and it is used after the preposition. I already told you, ing nouns have different positions. They come in various positions in a sentence, right? Here, of is the preposition and flying is used after the preposition. Look at the third sentence. Flying birds travel to anywhere. Which kind of birds? Flying birds. Here, flying is the adjective of the sentence and it describes birds. Birds means plural countable. Which kind of birds travel to anywhere? Flying birds. Flying describes verbs. That's why we consider it as an adjective and it is used before the noun birds, right? So far we have covered 6 examples. We'll see another 4 to 6 examples, okay? Another 2 examples. They are playing volleyball. So this sentence is in continuous tense and playing is the verb. We encourage playing games. Here in second sentence, playing is the noun and it is in object position. If ing word comes in the beginning, so we consider it as a subject of the sentence. If it is used in the middle or at the end, so we consider it as the object of the sentence. Cricket, cricket playing people are fit. So in this sentence, playing is the adjective, and which kind of people? Cricket playing people. So you always have to ask a question: which kind of people, which kind of bird, which kind of object it is. That's how you will be able to identify adjectives. People means plural countable, and playing is an adjective in the sentence. So it is used before the noun people. That's why so we call it as the adjective. I had been driving for 1 hour. So in this sentence, driving is a verb, and the sentence is in past perfect continuous tense. In second sentence, driving is a noun. Driving is fun. So in the place, you just replace the driving, okay? Or food is fun. He is fun. You are fun, right? So in the place of noun, you can replace with any other noun. That's how you will be able to get clarity. We require a car driving person, or you can say we require a driving person. Which kind of person we require? Driving person. Here driving is the adjective and it describes the person. Which kind of person? Driving person. So we'll see some more examples. So I believe you are getting right what I am teaching. So these are all present participles and they act as nouns, verbs and adjectives. So no need to get confused. So it will take some time to adapt to the concept, okay? Final two examples. I have been eating rice with dal. So this sentence is in present perfect continuous tense. So in first sentence, eating is the verb and it is preceded by be form, that is been. I have been eating rice with dal. She likes eating dosa. In second sentence, eating is an activity, right? And it is a noun. However, it is in object position. You visit any shop, you will be able to find eating food items. Which kind of items? Which kind of food items? Eating food items. So everything cannot be eaten, right? Here, eating is the adjective of the sentence and it describes food items. Which kind of items you will be able to find in any shop? Eating food items. That is the answer, right? Look at final example. He was shouting a lot. So the sentence is in past continuous tense. Shouting is a verb in the sentence and be form is used, right? I don't like shouting at children. So in this sentence, shouting is a noun. It is not the verb. I don't like shouting at children. So instead of you can using shouting, you can replace with any other noun. I don't like ice creams. I don't like horror movies. I don't like junk foods. Simple. So whenever you feel that it acts as a noun, you take any other noun and you replace. If the sentence has meaning, then that's fine. You are able to understand the concept, right? She is a shouting woman. Which kind of woman? Shouting woman. Here, shouting is the adjective of the sentence. It describes the person. It describes woman. Which kind of woman? Shouting woman. Here, shouting is the adjective and it is used before the noun, singular countable noun, woman. I hope these examples are clear. I have taken around 10 to 12 examples. Eating, shouting, playing, watching, listening, These are all present participles, but they have different functions. We don't consider them as verbs, okay? So present participles act as nouns, adjectives, and verbs. We'll discuss some. So look at these 3 points. Ing verbs are used in continuous tenses and they show actions. So present participles are used in continuous tenses. We call them verbs. Ing words are names of general activities. Playing, shouting, reading, writing. These are all names of activities. Writing is an activity. Reading is an activity, right? So whenever you get confused, you replace with other nouns. Third point, ing words describe or modify or give information about nouns or pronouns. Ask a question like what kind of person, what kind of place, thing, etc. That's how you get to identify adjectives. Adjectives are always used before nouns and after nouns. I hope these 3 points are clear, right? In this video, we have talked about present participles. They have 3 functions: verb, noun, adjective. If you like the content, please like, subscribe to the channel and share it to your friends. I don't know whether it is confusing or not, but it will take some time to adapt to the grammar. So I'm teaching you English grammar. So it will definitely take time to understand the concept, okay? If you practice, once the concept is understood, you try to practice, then only you will be able to adapt to the language, okay? So I'm just explaining in my own way. I have taken personal examples, okay? So I know the concept and I can easily create my own examples, right? Thanks for watching.